Welcome back to the latest episode of the Laura and Becky Show. So we used to be on the radio together, but we sadly lost our jobs. Actually, not sadly, because if we hadn't lost our jobs, we wouldn't be doing what we were doing now. So when we lost our jobs, we flew off to Mallorca. We had lots of pale rosé, lots of limoncello, and that is where the idea for this podcast was born.
We are sponsored by Twycross Zoo, Redbrik Estate Agents, and the Summer Beach Club at Meadowhall. Now, the fact we're sponsored by Twycross Zoo and the Summer Beach Club is quite apt for what we're going to talk about today.
It is, yes. We're going to do things a little bit differently. So every now and again, we'll do kind of like, we'll talk about a specific topic, or we might do something a bit serious. We might be really honest about things. Today, we want to talk about having the kids off for the school summer holidays, because a lot of people are going through it at the moment. Guys, it's hard, isn't it? It's tough.
I mean, I think so my kids are slightly older. So I have an 18-year-old, so she works, that's fine. But I have a 14-year-old who has, very few friends. So she's with me constantly. She's like my little shadow at the moment because I don't want to leave her at home on her own all day. Mm-hmm. So I want to bring her out. But obviously she's a bit like, I've got to hang around with my mum all day. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit like, oh, God. And sometimes I'm a bit like, oh, God, just want to go on my own.
Well, this is the thing. You get so used to them being at school for like 6 hours every day, don't you? So you drop them at school, you then pick up, you see them in the evenings, and you get used to that routine, don't you? You've only seen them for a few hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously at weekends it's different, but you get into that routine. So suddenly having them at home for 6 weeks constantly, it's a lot. And I don't think it's a bad thing to say that. Like I think everyone struggles a bit with it.
I think times have changed so much now. So I think like back in the day, most women stayed at home with the kids, right? Yeah. So when the 6 weeks holidays came, it's not that much of a problem because the mums were at home.
Yeah.
Whereas like in recent times, a lot of mums are now working and mums and dads both juggle full-time jobs, and 6 weeks of school is a lot. That's a long time. I remember being bored out of my brain sometimes in the summer holidays because my mum had to go and work or whatever we were doing. I mean, I had my sister, so we just like hung out together and we also rode horses, blah, blah, blah. So we had that to do. But I remember being really bored, but I also remember it being bloody sunny.
Yeah, what's happened to the weather in the summer holidays these days? Like, it wasn't like this, raining the whole time. I think that's when it makes it more difficult. When the weather's rubbish, that's when you start getting cabin fever, isn't it? Do you know what I think then? I think we talked to one of the therapists that we had on about this. I do think it's quite good for kids to get bored. Yeah. Because there's this pressure, isn't there, that you have to entertain them. You have to do really cool things with them and do days out with them, take them on amazing holidays, put it all on Instagram, and you look at what everyone else is doing. Like, oh my God, I'm not doing enough with the kids. I'm not spending enough quality time with them. I'm not being present now. Blah, 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 blah. But actually, when we were on our school summer holidays, I don't remember doing loads. We just went out every day, played with our friends, and that was it.
That was about it, yeah.
I don't remember us particularly going anywhere or going on a holiday. We just played out. That was it.
I remember my mum used to leave a list of jobs to do when she went out to work for me and my sister. Of course, we never did them until like 5 minutes before we knew she was going to get home. And if it was like polish the lounge, I'd just spray polish around so you could smell it. Like literally we'd be like, oh my God, shit, mum's coming home. It's like 5 to 6. And we'd be like, quick, do the vacuum cleaning. But yeah, I think it's good if you've got someone to hang around with. And also, I think there's a difference. I mean, I might be wrong, but I think there's a difference. If you were brought up in the countryside or in a village, I think it's slightly different to if you're in a town or a city.
Yeah, I agree, because it feels safer and you can just let the kids roam around.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I used to love that. Do you know what my entertainment was in the school summer holidays?
What?
So
here we go.
My mum and dad's house was like next to a really big orchard, and sometimes through the summer holidays there'd be like a herd of cows in there, right? So me and my 2 brothers, like this was the height of fun. We used to get excited about doing it. We'd go in and we just G the cows up to chase us, and then we'd run. And we'd do that constantly. We'd be like, they're coming, run!
Yeah.
And we'd actually run through the field, and every day we'd be like, let's go and chew the cows up. Mate, that is what we used to get excited about in the country.
Yeah. Well, there was like a stream, like a brook. Our house used to back onto a big sports field. We're very lucky. And then there was this stream. You have to walk through these trees. So we used to build like blockades to see if we could block the stream.
Yes.
And then, do you know what I mean? You just like, and you'd be there for
things.
Hours and hours. We used to strip twigs. We used to find these twigs and then just strip the bark off them for hours.
I tell you what, I wouldn't want a childhood like ours. Getting chased by cows. stripping sticks. I mean, these were the days. These kids don't know they're born. But these days as well, kids just want to put YouTube on, don't they? They want to watch their iPads. And listen, that's great for a bit. I mean, I am all for that. Yeah. But then you start feeling really bad and you get so mum guilt. You're literally like, my kid has just been sat in for 5 hours eating rubbish and watching YouTube.
Yeah. So but I think like even like going out for a walk, I think the hard thing is convincing them to do something they probably don't want. And then you're just like, oh God, right, come on, go for a walk. No, I don't want to go for a walk. Like, come on. But once they're out,
yes, they love it.
They're fine. Yeah.
That's
so I think
true.
like just like having little things to do, like maybe a dog walk and then like, I don't know, bake a cake or do something with the smaller kids. I think it's sometimes when they're like 12, 13 and they want to go out but they're still quite young, you don't want to let them out. It's really hard because they just want to be on their iPads.
Do you know what I quite like doing? And I did this with Lil in lockdown a lot actually. So we'd make like a breakfast at home, like sausage sandwiches or something, a flask of coffee or like a smoothie or whatever for her. We'd make it, we'd go out for a walk and we'd sit like on a bench somewhere or on a stone or whatever and we'd sit and eat it. Yeah. Really simple, but like we both absolutely loved it.
Yeah. I always, this is how I felt. If I did an activity, and I'm not talking lots of activities, just one, it could be a simple one, I would then feel better and be like, right, you can now go and do this. Or like you said, maybe if it's raining, have like a Disney movie afternoon.
Oh my God, I love that. Yeah. I did that with Lil the other day. We watched 101 Dalmatians.
Oh, great film.
Mate, I'd forgotten how good it was. Lil was glued to it. And I actually thought, because the weather was rubbish, perhaps we'll just blast through a load of Disney movies.
Yeah.
I love it. She loves it.
Right idea. 101 Dalmatians, original or film?
Original. Went with the original one, yeah.
The film or the cartoon? So many.
The film, but it's like the animated one. Mate, I got really confused though, right? So I was watching it and at the start, it's Pingo and Purdy, isn't it? I think the two Dalmatians are called. Right. Yeah. They have 15 babies. And I was there and I was literally like, hang on a minute. Where did the 101 come in? And I was so confused through the whole film, but then some more appear at the end. It baffled me. I was literally like, why is it called 101 Dalmatians? There's only 17. Anyway,
where did the other ones appear from?
So you know when they get stolen by Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil. I love that song. You know when she steals them, she's also stolen loads of other puppies. Right. Yeah, and then they take in all of the puppies. So they end up with 101 Dalmatians.
Who was it that played her? Glenn Close in the film. That is such a good film.
Isn't
film.
It?
And it's a bit gross, but it's great.
Yeah.
A great film.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think like doing an activity, also not comparing yourself to anyone on Instagram because that ain't the truth. That ain't the truth.
You know behind closed doors that mum who's taken them out for a perfect day or done crafts for an hour with them, she's also crying in a bathroom later on because she needs a break from her kids.
Do you remember things that used to do, like cut a potato and like cut a pattern in potato and like put it into paint and then pop it? Do you remember that? I used to love doing stuff like that.
I did that with Lil.
There you go. Just need a potato. All you need is a potato.
Guys, if you're going to take one thing from this episode, go get a potato. I have to say though, it's knackering, isn't it? Like I've been in bed since the school summer holiday started, 8 o'clock. And I'm literally, because like in the school summer holidays, the kids go to bed later, don't they? And obviously it's quite light at the moment.
Yeah.
So I've started saying to Lil, because she won't go to sleep at the moment till about 8:30, 9, too late. Way too late. So I'm just like, go into your room. This is from like 7:30, 8 o'clock. You can read for a bit. But
go into your room, pull the curtains, close your eyes and do not make a peep.
I don't want to hear from you. But I'm like, go in there, read for a bit, get into bed, be in your pajamas. It's like chill out time. Yeah. And actually that seems to work quite well. But still, I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm asleep before she's asleep. I'm like, oh.
I like how you're like, I'm in bed at 8 o'clock. I'm like, that's when you're usually in bed.
Yeah.
There's no difference.
I'm talking like I go to bed later.
We were messaging yesterday and I was listening to you and I thought, I was out on a little quick dog walk about 10 to 8 and I was like, are you in bed? You're like, no, but I'm getting ready.
I was nearly in bed. I was very nearly, but I was in my pajamas.
I tell you another thing as well. I will never be this mum, and well done. And kudos to you if you are. If by now you have already got all the school uniform, the shoes, the bag, the stationery.
Who's done that?
They do.
Stop
They
it.
do, yeah. I bought one skirt for Rosie just because I did panic and thought, oh God, what if it's... And Rosie's quite particular about what she wears. But yeah, I will leave it until the last week and then I'll moan that nothing's left.
Mate, Sam, I'm that mum who does that mad dash around Tesco's going, got any school stuff left?
Yeah.
God. Have you seen that episode of Motherland?
No.
Which I absolutely...
It's so funny, that.
In fact, you know what? Whilst you're on the school summer holidays, if you're a mum who's finding it a bit tough, or a dad,
watch that.
Go and watch that, because that will have you howling. It's on Netflix. It is one of the funniest, like, mum things to watch. It's absolutely brilliant. There's one episode, I think it might be the latest series as well. What's the main woman's name in it?
Oh, God, I have no idea.
She's got red hair. She's brilliant. I can't remember her name, but she does this mad dash to get the school uniform. I think it's like the day before they go back, right? She goes into like a shoe shop and she's mad. She's a bit like hectic anyway. She's like, right, shoes, any black shoes? What have you got? What have you got? And literally her daughter ends up going to school in black high heels because that's the only thing she could buy. And it's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, oh God, I'm never that organised. Just absolutely not.
Nor me. But it's always like, it's kind of like a reset, isn't it? When they go back in September, you feel like they have to be in the perfect uniform, the logoed things. They have to look all perfect. Literally, by the end of the term, you don't care.
No.
You're like, oh, just put on that, shove that on. Like, you don't even care if it's part of the uniform. So why do we put ourselves through this at the start of term?
I don't know. I said to Rosie towards the end of this school year, I was like, can you do me a favour? Can you just go to Lost Property and just have a look through the PE stuff? And if you find anything you like, just take it. Mate, she came back with loads
Basically,
of it.
steal it.
She came back with loads of it.
I should have told Lily to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we say stealing. I think they're allowed to.
Well, listen, it was probably hers anyway.
It's so different when they get to secondary school, mate. The PE kit, it's like extortionate.
It is.
And it has to be this, and it has to be that. And I'm like, oh my God. And then some of the girls don't wear it. You can't wear this, and you can't. We get laughed at, and it's like,
oh God,
oh my
too
God,
much.
Yeah, too much. So that's a little bit of a tip.
That's a great tip. Okay, so tips from today then are potato.
Steal.
Oh yes. Don't steal potatoes.
Do one 20-minute walk and then just watch TV. The rest of it. Don't have any mum guilt. It's fine.
Do that potato thing and watch
potato.
Motherland. Guys, there is your survival guide for the school summer holidays done.
We
okay?
don't do mum guilt on this podcast.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
However, we are sponsored by Twycross Zoo.
Yes.
That is a great day out. And also, if you buy tickets for Twycross Zoo at the moment, you get the next 12 months free. So it's definitely worth it.
Yes, and we have got a competition running as well after our influencer event on a Friday. So have a look at that as well, because you can win passes to go along. So which would be great with the kids.
Yeah, definitely. And there's also the Summer Beach Club at Meadowhall. That's going on until these school holidays. That's great for the kids. So have a look at the weather. I mean, I say have a look at the weather. Even if it's like a grey day, go.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We need to take Lily and Rue back to that as well, because they're both desperate to go. So we need to go. So we might see you there.
Yeah. So no mum guilt. Don't worry about it.
Battle through.
It will be September the 4th before you know it. And then you'll have mum guilt that you've not done enough.
Exactly.
It never ends, does it?
Oh, it never ends.
Just have a pale rosé.
Yeah. There we go. That's the answer.